Donald Trump just ousted Venezuela's leader, and now global leaders are asking what's next on his foreign policy list in 2026. These 5 countries could be in the crosshairs of future American pressure or engagement. Welcome back to Discover Top 10 Places, where we break down the biggest geopolitical shift shaping the world today. From military actions to diplomatic pressure, trade battles, and strategic influence, the foreign policy moves of the United States affect everything from oil markets to global alliances and national security. In this video, we're exploring the top 5 countries next on Trump's radar after Venezuela in 2026, based on recent statements, geopolitical strategy, foreign policy signals, and global reactions. Make sure you watch till the end, because number 1 may surprise you and could reshape global diplomacy in the coming months. Number 5, Cuba. It has long been one of the most strategically significant countries in the Western Hemisphere, largely because of its geographic location just 90 miles from the United States, its political system, and its historical role in global power dynamics. For decades, Cuba has represented a unique challenge to United States foreign policy due to its one-party government, state-controlled economy, and resistance to Western political influence. Its position in the Caribbean gives it importance far beyond its size, especially when it comes to regional security, migration routes, and geopolitical influence. One of the key reasons Cuba remains under close observation is its long-standing political alliances with governments opposed to United States influence, particularly in Latin America. For years, Cuba maintained deep economic and strategic ties with Venezuela, relying heavily on subsidized oil, trade agreements, and political cooperation. When instability or leadership changes occur in allied countries, Cuba's economy and international standing are directly affected, increasing pressure on Havana to either reform internally or seek new global partners. Cuba's domestic situation also keeps it in the international spotlight. The country has faced persistent economic challenges, including shortages of food, fuel, and medicine, rising inflation, and limited access to foreign currency. These conditions have led to periodic public unrest and increased migration toward the United States and neighboring countries. From a policy standpoint, these internal pressures often influence discussions around sanctions, humanitarian relief, diplomatic engagement, and broader regional stability. Despite decades of tension, Cuba remains deeply connected to global affairs rather than isolated from them. Its role in Caribbean security, international diplomacy, migration patterns, and ideological influence ensures that it continues to attract attention from the United States and other global powers. Understanding Cuba today requires looking beyond political rhetoric to see a nation shaped by history, geography, and resilience, one that remains a key piece in the broader conversation about influence, stability, and power in the Americas. Number 4, Colombia. It holds a uniquely important position in Latin America due to its geographic location, political influence, and long-standing relationship with the United States. Situated between Central and South America, with coastlines on both the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean, Colombia plays a critical role in regional security, trade routes, and migration flow. Its proximity to Venezuela and deep involvement in regional diplomacy make it a country that often draws international attention during periods of political or economic instability in the region. One of the main reasons Colombia remains under close observation is its complex relationship with neighboring Venezuela. Colombia shares a long and porous border with Venezuela, and instability across that border has direct consequences, including migration surges, security concerns, and economic strain. Colombia has hosted millions of Venezuelan migrants, positioning itself as both a humanitarian responder and a regional stabilizer. These dynamics naturally elevate Colombia's importance in broader discussions about influence, security cooperation, and regional leadership. Colombia's internal challenges also contribute to its strategic relevance. Despite significant progress over recent decades, the country continues to face issues related to drug trafficking, organized crime, and armed groups, particularly in rural and border regions. These challenges have long tied Colombia to international counter-narcotics efforts and security partnerships, especially with the United States. How Colombia manages these issues often shapes foreign policy decisions, aid priorities, and diplomatic pressure from global powers. At the same time, Colombia is more than a security-focused nation. It is one of Latin America's fastest-growing economies, with expanding sectors in energy, agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, and technology. Its growing political influence, democratic institutions, and regional leadership role make Colombia a country that cannot be ignored in conversations about the future of Latin America. Understanding Colombia's position requires recognizing it as both a nation, managing complex internal realities, and a key player shaping stability, diplomacy, and power in the Western Hemisphere. Number 3, Mexico. It is one of the most strategically important countries in the Western Hemisphere due to its shared border with the United States, deep economic integration, and influence across Latin America. As the immediate southern neighbor of the United States, Mexico plays a critical role in trade, migration, security, and regional stability. Any shift in relations between the two countries has immediate effects on millions of people, supply chains, and political dynamics on both sides of the border. One of the main reasons Mexico remains under constant international focus is its role in migration and border security. Mexico is both a country of origin and a major transit route for migrants traveling north, making it central to immigration enforcement and humanitarian discussion. Cooperation or tension between Mexico and the United States on border management, asylum policy, and enforcement directly shapes regional outcomes, drawing sustained diplomatic pressure and attention. Security issues also keep Mexico at the center of global conversation. The country continues to face challenges related to drug trafficking organizations, cartel violence, and organized crime, which affect not only domestic stability, but also regional security. These issues have long tied Mexico to security cooperation efforts with the United States, influencing policies around law enforcement, intelligence sharing, and cross-border operations. At the same time, Mexico is a major economic and political power in its own right. It is one of the largest trading partners of the United States, with deeply interconnected manufacturing, automotive, and agricultural sectors. Mexico's growing role in nearshoring, global manufacturing, and regional diplomacy ensures it remains a country of high strategic importance. Understanding Mexico's position requires seeing it as both a partner and a pressure point, central to economic growth, security cooperation, and the future balance of power in North America. Number 2, Iran. It is one of the most influential and closely watched countries in the world due to its strategic location, regional power, and complex relationship with the United States. Positioned at the crossroads of the Middle East and Central Asia, Iran sits near some of the world's most important energy routes, including the Persian Gulf. This geographic advantage gives Iran outsized influence over regional security, global oil markets, and international trade, making it a key player in global geopolitics. A major reason Iran remains under constant international scrutiny is its long-standing rivalry with the United States. This relationship has been marked by decades of political tension, economic sanctions, and diplomatic standoffs. Disagreements over Iran's nuclear program, missile development, and regional alliances have repeatedly placed Iran at the center of foreign policy debate. These issues continue to shape how global powers engage with Iran, balancing pressure, negotiation, and deterrence. Iran's internal situation also draws global attention. The country has faced economic challenges, rising inflation, unemployment, and public dissatisfaction, often intensified by international sanctions. Periodic protests and internal political debates highlight the pressure on Iran's leadership to manage both domestic stability and international isolation. These internal dynamics influence Iran's foreign policy decisions and its willingness to negotiate or resist external demand. Despite these challenges, Iran remains a major regional force with significant influence beyond its borders. Through political alliances, economic partnerships, and involvement in neighboring conflicts, Iran continues to shape outcomes across the Middle East. Understanding Iran's role requires recognizing it as both a nation under pressure and a country with deep historical influence, strategic ambition, and lasting impact on global diplomacy and the balance of power. Number 1, Greenland. It has emerged as one of the most strategically important territories in the world, despite its small population and remote location. Situated between North America and Europe, Greenland occupies a critical position in the Arctic, making it highly valuable for security, military strategy, and global trade routes. Its proximity to the United States, Canada, and Europe places it at the center of growing international interest as Arctic access becomes increasingly important. One of the main reasons Greenland draws attention is its strategic military significance. The territory hosts key defense infrastructure that plays an important role in early warning systems and Arctic security. As global powers increase their presence in the Arctic, Greenland's location makes it essential for monitoring airspace, maritime movement, and potential security. This has elevated Greenland's importance in discussions about defense cooperation and long-term strategic planning involving the United States and its allies. Greenland is also rich in natural resources, including rare earth minerals, oil, gas, and other critical materials used in modern technology and renewable energy systems. As climate change reduces Arctic ice coverage, access to these resources is becoming more feasible, increasing competition among global powers. Control over or influence in Greenland is often viewed as a way to secure future supply chains and reduce dependence on rival nations for critical minerals. Beyond military and resources, Greenland represents the future of Arctic geopolitics and global influence. While it remains a self-governing territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, Greenland's strategic value has led to discussions about investment, partnerships, and long-term influence by major powers. Understanding Greenland's role today requires seeing it not as a remote island, but as a central piece in the evolving balance of power shaping global security, trade, and diplomacy. Conclusion: so those are the top 5 countries next on Trump's radar, after Venezuela in 2026, from Cuba to strategic Greenland. These developments show how global power, diplomacy, and national interests intersect in a world still reshaping itself after major geopolitical moves. Which country do you think will face the most pressure next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to discover top 10 places and turn on notifications for more videos about world geopolitics, foreign policy trends, and where global power is shifting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.